Hey guys, how you guys doing today? So yesterday we did talk about what was going on in the S&P 500 and the market overall, and we could clearly see the market was getting just a little bit extended here. It's a nice pullback, RSI reset. MACD starting to lean over here. However, what we want to pay attention to is the fact that S&P 500 is starting to turn here. Okay, so I did mention yesterday the sectors that we were watching. We had the energy sectors, utilities, and gold and commodities were leading with tech, which was interesting. So this was a hammer candlestick pattern, which I was bullish on that as long as 449 or 450 holds, we could continue to move. So even today, today's a reversal day, which is fine. It took out yesterday's lows. Not too worried on it, but I'm not too confident here either, right? So this move is starting to turn over here. So we got the EMAs, which is the 20 and the 50 crossing up here. We got the 200 and the 100 up here, right? So looking at the EMAs in total, right? The 20 crossing above the 50 short term, that's bullish right here. What I want to see, as long as this price level is held, which is a 443 price level, I want to see a quick bounce, right? So the other reason for today, the price that it started to consolidate, we did have economic events that were happening, such as the Fed were speaking. Okay, so when they're speaking, they're talking about what could possibly go wrong in this market, possible chances of bonds, QE reduction. So if we take that into consideration about what was going on here today, I would basically take everything with a grain of salt today, right? So this is what caused volatility come up in the market. Also, as well as the FMOC minutes. So no one's talking tomorrow. There are minutes that are coming up tomorrow. So it's just like kind of a press release to the big event that's happening on May 2nd, which is Jerome Powell and the Fed. They will be talking on that particular day, which is May 2nd. So basically, what we want to watch SPY is we want to set up a timeline here. Okay. So we want to go from today until May 2nd, which is about here. Okay. So in this little area that we got going on, the price could really chop here. Okay. Price could start to really consolidate, and we can get really volatile movement in this time range. Okay, so this is why I'm starting this up, so we can keep track of it in the coming weeks, right? So this area right here is really interesting for us, and it will be interesting for us for the coming few weeks and days. Okay, so looking at this time frame, I'm holding the level here at 443. This is what I like to hold. I like to price to touch it. Then a quick bounce from here. As you guys can see, I got multiple alerts set up on different price points for me for me to scalp. And these alerts go into our trading community as well. So looking at everything that's going on so far, I'm not completely sold on this. This is a bear market rally, and I'm not bullish either. I'm very neutral in what's going on in the market conditions. Okay, so you have to really understand what's happening with that, right? So to have a look further here, looking at the Qs, same thing. This is an important supply zone. This was a good day. Like I said yesterday too in the video, I want to see a price bounce here and then a quick bounce above, right? Today, the opposite happened. We had a sell-off, right? Try to bounce, unable to bounce here. They're not getting their legs and it's starting to fade here, right? So right now, it's holding on the 200 and the 100 and the 50 and the 20 are right here, right? So the other thing is the follow through, right? So we had a green day right here, and now we're having some follow through volume, which is some selling volume, which is a little bit concerning. I wouldn't say it's too concerning because the big supply level that we're watching is quite far away still for the Qs. But then again, Qs do move relatively fast, and they can cover this zone relatively quickly. Okay, so that's why even in our trading community today, I warn everybody not to trade today. This is not the day you want to trade. You want to wait for a reset, right? So if we look in a 2-hour time frame here, this sets up perfectly to the downside, which is around 358, and then we got about 353. What I want to see is I want to see a sell-off, and the sell-off that I want to see here is going down to 347 down to about 317. Okay, so that's what I want to see. I want to see that sell-off come through. Okay, and so if that sell-off does not come, we could be fine and we could just push right back up. So the thing is, the market has been going up so frequently that when these pullbacks happen, people panic. There's no need to panic, right? Just wait for your levels, right? This is a nice uptrend right here. So as long as price comes down and is stable, there's nothing wrong with it. It'll be perfectly fine, right? For example, price could easily come down to this level, maybe test this and then start to change and then have a quick bounce, right? But keep in mind, right, there's a lot of uncertainty that's already happening. Okay, so there's some uncertainty that's happening here with the Fed interest rate hike, 50-point interest rate hike already priced in, which can slow down the growth market. And also with tech, what we want to pay attention to is the fact that the interest rate hikes that are going to come up, right? How are they going to affect us? How are they going to affect this market? So that's something to be careful of, okay? So the next we're going to focus on is Dow Jones. Okay, so if we look at the Dow here, the Dow, to be very honest, all the market moving in sequence here. The Dow is coming back to test this, right? Pull back, retest, and if we get a bounce here, this would be a really, really strong bounce. Okay, now there's a lot of talk about recession that came up in the markets today. That the U.S. could be facing a recession in 2023. Is a recession looming? Maybe, likely, but we'll see. The stock market, will it be impacted? Of course it will. But what's going to tell us is the market and the market conditions. So right now, if we look at the Dow Jones, we still have a play here where it tests this level and it bounces really fast and retests and a quick bounce here, okay? What we want here is we want to test this level right here, 357, and then a quick bounce to the upside, right? If we sell off to about 338, we're going to hit a snag in the Dow, right? This is going to go into a consolidation and we're going to completely break down here, okay? So this is something to keep an eye on. The other thing is IWM, small caps. I've been mentioning the supply level over and over again, right? This supply level is absolutely important right here. This is massive. I do not want this supply level to be ignored at all because this supply level is very important for IWM. We need this level to pick up, otherwise we're going to go fall back down to come to 191. Okay, so with everything in play, they're holding certain levels here. This is the 20, the 100 and the 200 EMAs are acting as resistance levels, and the price is still heading downwards right now. There is a lot of weakness. Okay. So looking at everything, and we want to look at ARC as well. See, ARC was setting up here supply zone, right? This is why you got to respect the levels. I had a plan that if price closes above, we always want to see a retest. The retest is the most important tool. We want to see a follow through. If it's a bull market, we want to see a follow through. We don't want to get faked out in this bear market. This is very important to us. We talk about this in our trading community every day. You don't just take a trade because price is just breaking out. You have to have a certain level tested and you have to have a certain level of confidence in that trade, right? So ARC, unfortunately, unable to get above today. It's got support right about here. If that fails, we're going to test about 52. And then we got KWeb here. KWeb, China. China just consolidating away. Nothing really going on here. It does have huge buying right here, which I'm not too concerned about, but this is a huge buying pressure. And I want to see China break out or either break down, right? So either break down below 26 or it needs to break above 33. However, if it keeps consolidating here for some time in these bigger ranges, it's very possible that it just consolidates before it breaks out again, right? So remember, stock market, you have to be very patient. As soon as you get impatient is when you're going to lose money, all right? So looking at the sectors that led today in the market, the leading sectors here, defensive sectors, okay, and healthcare. So utilities is defensive, had a sell-off in utilities, which is interesting. This candlestick is very, very interesting here, okay? So XLV, which is healthcare sector, also a sell-off here, right? So we want to see what this does, right? This could be setting up to be maybe a head and shoulder pattern here, right? But remember the neckline on the head and shoulder is way down here. So if you want to go aggressive on XLV and you want to short it, I was short about here. Okay, short at 124 break, and you can run it down to about 110. Right, so we'll see what happens with XLV, or this could be a triple top, whatever you want to call it. Right, so for me, that's what I see in XLV here. XLP, consumer staples, also selling off here, but with consumer staples, something's interesting here. Right, this is the break that it had, possible retest, and then a bounce in the works. Very, very possible. Okay, so we want to see what it does in this zone, if consumer staples continues to break out, or if it just pauses and has a complete breakdown. That's something that's we have to keep an eye on, and we have to keep a watch for. So the biggest losers today were semiconductors. Semiconductors sold off aggressively, which is a little bit worrisome to me. Okay, the reason why is because of the pattern that's shaping up on the semiconductors. Not sure if this is going to pan out, but something to always watch for. Patterns form all the time, but the bigger time frame the patterns are on, the longer they take. So as you guys can see in the semiconductor sector here, we're forming a head and shoulder pattern here, and that's getting a little thin here. So where am I going to take a short position if I were to take on semiconductors? I'd wait for the neckline break here. Okay, if this level breaks, the 250, and then the 245 breaks, I'm taking it down. Otherwise, it can have a quick bounce and start going sideways before it finally starts to fly again. So until a certain level is broken, I'm not going to speculate on the puts, right? Airlines got wrecked today. Tech really got killed, but Tech had a nice day, nice few days here. Now it's got a pullback. Now we need a bounce from here in Tech, right? We need a bounce from here, right? Or we need a breakdown, and the breakdown is going to come the same way, right? It's going to break, right? Say possibly from here. Break, retest, and then fall down, right? So either way, we'll see what happens in Tech, if it's a breakout or a breakdown, right? The other thing important, that's very, very important, is gold. Gold is holding its level. Okay, the 175. Today, gold went to 181. It tried to bounce, got a sell-off here, but gold is still holding its zone, okay? So that's something to keep in mind here. Gold above 175 is dangerous, and if gold continues to fly, that could be very bearish for the market, right? The other thing I'm looking at is VIX. The VIX is very, very powerful tool, okay? So VIX is telling us this has got like an inverted head and shoulder going on, still holding this level. I want to see VIX get below maybe 20 before I see the market start to settle here, okay? So VIX below 20 is something that's very important to me, right? So let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I want to go long here around 48.70, 48.20, 48.725 right here. So I want to go along above here, and then I want to see it touch about 60,000 or even 59, and that range right there. So right now, Bitcoin, after a nice break, is going for the retest, right? So it broke this pattern right here, right? So this is the ascending triangle, right? It broke the ascending triangle, and now it's going to do a break and retest. Just to make it a little bit more clear. That's the ascending triangle right there. Okay, it broke the ascending triangle. Now it's coming back to do the retest of the level it broke. If this level holds really well, or even support holds up until this level right here, a Bitcoin could bounce very, very nicely, okay? So just something to keep an eye on Bitcoin. Ethereum, pullback here. It looks like it could fade to the downside, but then again, it's got a big level here. So we'll see if Ethereum breaks down or if it continues to move higher. But so far, everything's rolling over together, so not too concerned about it. Could be profit taking because the Fed's minutes are going to come out tomorrow, so just keep your eye out on that. So this could have been just a profit taking scenario. You don't want to get whipsawed. You want to be patient and wait for the opportunities to come to you guys, okay? So if you guys like what I do, please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great day.